As of January 1st, 2023, the following things will go into effect, and people need to be aware of this. It abolishes cash bail for almost every offense. This includes, but isn't limited to, kidnapping, armed robbery, second-degree murder, drug-induced homicide, aggravated DUI, threatening a public official, and aggravated fleeing and eluding. And keep this in mind, businesses and homeowners. Officers will no longer be able to remove trespassers from your residence or your businesses.
At this point, New Orleans is essentially out of police officers. The median police response time in New Orleans to 911 calls is over 2 hours. Imagine, armed people in your home. You call the police. 2 hours. A lot can happen in 2 hours. That's the total collapse of civilization. There's no reason to have a government if the response time is 2 hours. Buy your own guns. Establish your own order. That's where we're going to be very soon. On a recent Friday night in that city, New Orleans, one third-year officer called Scott Fanning just quit mid-shift. Here's how he described it. Quote, "That night I quit. There were over 40 calls holding when I logged into my computer. But there were only 35 patrol officers logged in for all 8 districts in the city. Some nights there has literally been one person in a big, dangerous city." But it's not just New Orleans. All over the country, police officers are quitting, and they are not being replaced.
Departments across the country say a lack of officers is severely limiting what they can respond to.
We'll routinely respond to shootings, but if the person is going to survive, we are not going to follow up on that.
In Philadelphia, the department says it's short more than 500 officers from before the pandemic. Los Angeles also missing nearly 700 officers from its ranks, prompting the cancellation of its animal cruelty unit and forcing officials to shrink the size of its human trafficking, drug and gun units, and more. With officers struggling to respond to just serious felonies, communities are noticing an uptick in misdemeanors, like in Philly, where more than 30,000 abandoned car complaints are going unanswered.
Because police have abandoned New York City, too.
The NYPD is releasing disturbing surveillance videos almost every day.
Violent video after violent video. Some are hard to watch. Who could forget this horrific shooting? A gunman opening fire on a Bronx street. 2 children are caught between the gunman and his target. The shooter just continues shooting.
One of the suspects was seen on surveillance video pulling a gun on a 32-year-old woman as she was returning home from shopping. Then moments later, a second suspect arrived. Police say they struck the woman in the face. They tied her up, stealing $19,000 from a safe and $12,000 worth of jewelry.
In this one, you see a woman being kicked from behind as she walks down the steps of the Queens Plaza subway station in Long Island City. She is then hit over the head with a hammer as many as 13 times as she is shoved to the ground and robbed.